Everybody, I'm John Swantek. Welcome to the latest edition of Match Play on PGA TOUR.com. Let's get right to it. Meet this week's contestants. We say hello to Gary Van Sickle, senior writer for Sports Illustrated and weekly contributor to SI.com's Tour Confidential, and Michael Collins from the PGA Tour Network on SiriusXM Radio, who will have the honor for topic number one. We just played 3 straight events synonymous with legends of the game: Hogan, Nelson, and Nicklaus. If you were commissioned, Michael Collins, to create a Mount Rushmore for the PGA Tour, who would it be?
Of course, Bobby Jones leading off. Bobby Jones is the George Washington of golf in the United States. And then on the far side, bookending it, would have to be Jack Nicklaus, for he still is the greatest of all time as far as his 18 majors and everything else that he's accomplished. Now, the two in the middle is where everyone's going to argue about. But here's my argument. Arnold Palmer. Why? Might not have had the greatest record in golf, but was one of the most beloved golfers that we've ever seen out there. They're in awe of what Jack did, but they love Arnold Palmer. So Arnie has to be up there. Now, the other argument comes between Hogan and Nelson. I think Hogan, because that all factor out there. Even now, people talk about Hogan this and Hogan that. And a lot of times, more pros, when you hear pros talk about, who's the guy back in the day? Hogan, Hogan, Hogan. So those are my 4 on Mount Rushmore.
No Tiger Woods on Michael Collins' Mount Rushmore. Van Sickle, what do you think?
If you're going to commission me to do Mount Rushmore, obviously you don't want standard run-of-the-mill Mount Rushmore. I'm going to go with Dean Beeman, the guy who invented money on the PGA Tour. I'm going to go with Frank Cherkinian, the man who made professional golf into a TV show that without him, we probably wouldn't have any of this really modern game on TV. You got to have Jack Nicklaus, the greatest player, probably greatest champion of all time. And for the 4th spot, I'm reserving that for the greatest celebrity pro-am player of all time. That would be Bill Murray. And I'm especially putting him on here on the other end just to annoy Dean Beeman that he's on Mount Rushmore with Bill Murray.
Well, I'll give Van Sickle points for the most creative Mount Rushmore, but topic number 1 has to go to Collins. Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Nothing more to say. Gary will lead us off on topic number 2 as Collins takes the early lead here. We just finished up at Muirfield Village where Steve Stricker won the Memorial. We'll have the President's Cup there in 2013, Gary. Which players, one from each team, U.S. and international, not currently qualified, do you think will make the team for this November's matches at Royal Melbourne in Australia and make an impact?
I'm going to go with a guy that I would definitely want, Gary Woodland. He hits it as long as anybody. Dustin Johnson thinks Gary Woodland is longer than him. And what I like about him is he's got the whole game. He won the Transitions tournament, got himself on tour. How did he do it? Because he never hit driver and he never shot at any pins. And that's a guy you do not want to face in match play. For the international team, I'm stunned that Ro Ishikawa of Japan isn't in the top 10. You got to have him. He's basically Japan's answer to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's got the clothes. He's got the following. He's a rock star. It'd be like having the Beatles without Ringo. You got to have Ro there.
And Ishikawa captain selection of Greg Norman at Harding Park. Collins, any early suggestions for Freddie Couples and Greg Norman here?
I love Ryan Palmer, and that's coming from my caddy perspective. I want Ryan on the team, but I don't want him to make any decisions other than on the green. His caddy has to do everything. So James is going to pick all the clubs, call all the shots. And then, of course, on the international side, Thongchai Jaidee, a big time, only because from a broadcaster point, I just want to watch him win a match so I can say, there's that song.
I'm going to give that one to Van Sickle. Like Gary Woodland a lot. I know Collins does too. He will be an instrumental part of that U.S. President's Cup team. Ishikawa, you would think, would be on the international side as well. So we're square as we head into topic number 3. It goes back to Michael Collins. Got the NHL Stanley Cup Finals going on this week, Mr. Collins, NBA Finals as well. Let's say the PGA Tour playoffs for the FedExCup began this week as well. Who would win the FedExCup?
Oh, that's so easy for me. Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar would play all 4 events, finish second every week, and win the FedExCup at $10 million without winning the tournament. And that's the whole thing. That's what it's about. It's about the guy who can be the most consistent over the year and then the most consistent through the playoffs. And Matt Kuchar's consistency right now is through the roof.
Gary, Luke Donald, number 1 in the world, also just became number 1 in the FedEx Cup points race.
If you're going to go with a guy who's going to finish second 4 times, I'm going to go with a guy who might win all 4. The one guy who's more consistent than Kuchar is Steve Stricker. The guy's got the best iron swing in golf right now. He's the best putter in golf. He's probably got the best short game. He's already won at 2 of the FedExCup sites. He's won the Deutsche Bank Classic Championship before. He's won at Cog Hill. I'm going to go with a winner, Steve Stricker.
Yeah, I'm going to have that one. Those are 2 excellent choices. I think Stricker and Kuchar will both play a few more events than Luke Donald between now and the end of the playoffs. So we're square on topic 3. Good match this week, all square between Gary Van Sickle and Michael Collins. Hope we can have a rematch. Gentlemen, thank you for the time as always. Well played.